Welcome everyone. My name is Darlene Pedersen and I'm from New Readers Press. And I'd like to introduce Tad Wamester from Voxy EnGen. Voxy EnGen and New Readers Press share a common goal of helping to upskill and empower language learners. Voxy EnGen is an innovative language learning platform that combines authentic content with personalized live instruction and adaptive technology to create a fully mobile experience for everyone. So we're very excited to have Tad here with us today. He's going to be presenting the first in a series. It's called the Career Pathways in Practice webinar series. And this session is called Building Career Pathway Programs for English Language Learners. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Tad and welcome him and have him get started. Thanks, everyone.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for logging in. Just give me 1 second as I get the presentation logged up. Okay. All right, good afternoon. It is 4 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm logging in from Queens, New York. Really wonderful to see representation from across the country, from partners of ProLiteracy and New Readers Press, who are interested in learning more about building career pathway programs for English language learners, and learning about the Voxy EnGen platform. My name is Tad Wamester. I'm Director of Partnership Development at Voxy EnGen, and ProLiteracy and New Readers Press are a valued partner of Voxy EnGen. So I know that all of you heard about this webinar through your New Readers Press representative. So please, I encourage you to reach out to them following this webinar to learn more about how you can join the Voxy EnGen family by bringing our career-focused language learning resources to your learners. A little bit about myself. I have been working with immigrants and refugees for about 14 years now. I've done a lot of work with highly skilled immigrants and refugees who came to the US with degrees and work experience, and too often fall into low-skill, low-wage roles because of licensing barriers, a lack of a network or US-style resume, and also language skills, because we know that English language skills are so important to professional development, career pathways, the job search. So really excited to share more about how we approach this issue. Now, there is a focus right now and into the near future, a conversation about reskilling and upskilling both incumbent workers and job seekers for the jobs of the future. Too often, immigrants and refugees, English language learners, are left out of these programs, mainly because you often need at least an intermediate level of proficiency in English to be ordered to succeed in these programs, to achieve that certification, pursue that, that job. And often learners have to test into these programs at a specific level. And we are focused at Voxy EnGen on accelerating that career path. And that's why we're working with ProLiteracy and New Readers Press, because of their reach into so many communities, literacy organizations throughout the country. Now, these are some of the programs where Voxy EnGen is being utilized, and utilized effectively to create career pathways, career advancement opportunities for English language learners. And this is so important in this moment right now, because there is an important conversation going on talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I want to make sure that we are bringing language learners into that conversation, because wherever there are barriers to career advancement, academic advancement, economic inclusion, it's so important that we are including everyone and breaking down the barriers that prevent people from achieving their goals, from achieving success. And so we really believe that language learning is an important component within the diversity, equity, and inclusion conversation. So again, going back to, what are solutions to create career pathways for English language learners? Well, there are workplace English language programs, which is something we're going to be digging into in the next career pathway session. So hopefully see you in a couple weeks. I believe that session is on May 12th. Also, it's a time to think about how to build intentional on-ramps or bridge programs into career and technical education. We've heard from the Biden administration a commitment to registered apprenticeships and the opportunity there. These lead to high-paying jobs with job security and growth potential in growing sectors. And pre-apprenticeship programs can include skills development as well as language development that directly leads into those earn and learn opportunities. Some of the content that we will be talking about today, whether it's our English for General Industry Safety course or English for patient care and patient care and support, each of those courses can be used as a pre-apprenticeship program, either into manufacturing or construction when you're thinking about the industry safety course, or to different allied health career pathways. And this is so important because many of your learners, they need to earn an income. So earn and learn opportunities like apprenticeships, especially those that lead to good paying jobs. We want to make sure that English language learners are included. And then IET programs, IELCE funding streams. Voxy EnGen can help your organization to connect with new funding streams, to connect with training opportunities for English language learners in your community. So this is a graphic that helps to describe how we think about Voxy EnGen internally. So a bridge is a perfect illustration of this concept. We pre-pandemic, the vast majority of ESL, ESOL programs were in-person classroom-based interventions. And those were leaving a large number of adult English language learners out because of childcare concerns, work schedules that were either irregular, changing during the week, or maybe they had to work nights. And how could they participate in a traditional classroom-based program? What Voxy EnGen can be and can achieve is building a bridge between language learning programs and stackable workforce development certifications, which directly lead to in-demand jobs, employment opportunity, growth sectors. And this is really what I'm going to encourage you to be thinking about, is how can your program leverage technology and career-focused content to create a bridge to workforce certification programs, stackable credentials that might be offered at the local community or technical college. Or maybe they're even offered internally at your organization. But again, how do you create that bridge so that a language learner who might be at the, who might be a beginner or a low intermediate level learner, how do they transition into those workforce development programs? So to step back for a minute, I want to introduce to you, what is Voxy EnGen? You might have heard of that in the Pro-Literacy or New Readers Press newsletters, or from your the representative that you work with. You might have heard of us at COABE or some of the other conferences in this sector, but I want to introduce to you what Voxy EnGen is. So we are an innovative social impact organization. We're a public benefit corporation, which means that we have formally established our mission related to education, inclusion of immigrants and refugees, and really supporting both workplace success and economic opportunity for these populations that have been historically left out of opportunity. We want to increase equity and access to opportunity at scale. How we do that is through a digital English language learning product. But we are very different than other products that you may know or have heard of, in that the experience is truly personalized to the learner's proficiency level, their native language, their career interests and goals, their performance. It's an adaptive platform, and each learner gets a personalized experience based on those factors. And the more personalized the experience is, the more engaged those learners will be. Also, the platform is easy to run. It includes training and support from the New Readers Press team. It includes access to resources, training materials, webinars, and support in configuring the platform to meet the needs of your learners. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about today, is how do you leverage the full Voxy content library to build different career pathways. I've really just want to highlight that one comment was from an attendee who came from Mexico with multiple degrees, and was working in a restaurant. And despite the fact that she liked it, the main reason and barrier to her advancement was English skills. So really congratulations on building those skills and getting into the education sector. Getting back to Voxy EnGen, the platform includes support, includes an administrative platform. You get access to a vast and growing career-specific course catalog. That course catalog includes English for manufacturing, English for hospitality, English for IT help desk. So you get to build different pathways for your learners. And something that's very different about the content is that it comes from real-world, authentic pieces of media. Whether that's a news article, whether that's an employee training material or industry-specific training, an audio clip, a video, but all of it is authentic, real-world content. So it doesn't take the learner out of the experience when they see that something is made up or contrived, a video that's not real. We think the more authentic the content is, the more relevant it is to the learner's goals and interests, the more engaged they'll be. I always say that adults learn what they want to learn and what they need to learn. So the more that we can align with their interests and goals, the more engaged they'll be. And then again, I started to discuss the administrative platform, the Voxy Command Center, which comes included with your learner licenses that you purchase. The Voxy Command Center is a powerful tool for tracking time on task, lessons completed, courses and units completed. You really get to understand whether your learners are logging in on mobile or desktop. So it gives you a lot of information. And in a snapshot, you can see who your most engaged learners are, who are in the middle of the road and need encouragement but are doing well, and also who is low engaged and either needs support in getting started, or they just need encouragement. Maybe they need help finding the right content. So you have access to all of that performance and the proficiency gains of your learners, because assessment is included in the product. So again, thinking about our pedagogy, how we think about language learning. So we think of English language training like acquiring a skill, so not like studying a content area. So I really like this image because they are learning to cook. It looks like they're baking something. And you could approach learning to cook by reading 3 cookbooks from cover to cover. And while that might give you some knowledge, you might not, your first cake that you bake might not come out so well, because the context of using those utensils and measuring devices and following the directions and order within a recipe, especially when baking, is incredibly important. Learning to cook requires practice, and it requires making mistakes along the way. So we really think that the context that someone is learning within, the experience, making mistakes is all really important when someone is learning a new language. So that's why all of the content in the Voxy EnGen platform is contextualized to different careers, interest areas, and academic supports. Excuse me. We utilize task-based language teaching. So what does someone want to do with English? So they're not learning words that are not relevant to their daily life. Even if they're in the beginner English course, they're learning about how to get around town, how to listen and give directions, how to order food at a restaurant, how to go to the doctor's office and talk about an illness. So it's all real world tasks that learners need and want to complete in their daily life, and that will support their community and economic inclusion. So we really believe in task-based language teaching, that it is the most rapid way for learners to acquire a new language. We make that content relevant to different career pathways. And we also add new content on a daily basis. So for adult learners, they can always find something new in the platform related to current events or interest areas. We actually add between 3 to 5 lessons every day. And we've been adding a new course just about every month. This month, we added, for example, English for Retail Customer Service, a brand new course that launched in early April. We've also added English for Grocery Store Retail. So potentially very relevant to your learners and different career pathways. I do know that from what I hear, the retail industry is coming back, and that's an area where we expect there to be significant job growth. Same thing with hospitality, airlines. I mean, we've all been faced with this pandemic, social distancing, isolation. I know I'm ready for a vacation, and I think a lot of people are ready to get out there go to restaurants, begin traveling again, and hopefully get back to life in a more normal setting. We also believe, and this is something that many programs always ask about, well, what about the teacher? Well, we believe in a blended approach, and we want our technology to be able to empower teachers to launch different career pathway programs, to work with learners at different levels. So our platform is highly configurable. There is the option to include live 24/7 live instruction by proficiency level. There also is the option to use all of the digital content and include that within a virtual or blended program where your teachers are facilitating that live instruction. There are a number of different options for how you can leverage Voxy EnGen within your programs. So again, I encourage you to speak to your New Readers Press representative about how you can leverage the different options that Voxy EnGen offers. I want to go back and talk about why it's important to use real-world materials. So as an adult educator myself, when something is contrived or made up, it can really take the learner out of the experience and be a demotivating factor. So what we do is make sure that the content is relevant to their real-world goals. So this is actually a snapshot from the Voxy EnGen platform. The first course that this learner is enrolled in is related to the Certified Nursing Assistant pathway. So this is teaching English while the learner is learning the roles, responsibilities, vocabulary, and phrases associated with being a certified nursing assistant. We also see this learner involved in our English for Health and Safety course, where they're learning about infection control and PPE, disinfection. So another very relevant course to many different workplaces and really to everyone. And then there's also another course that we created, English for e-commerce warehousing. So one effect of the pandemic has been really rapidly increasing jobs in the transportation, distribution, and logistics sector. E-commerce is a growing sector and will continue to grow. What that means is that there's a lot of jobs, and it's very important to support learners in learning the vocabulary of e-commerce warehousing so that they can connect with those opportunities. This is one course that could be combined with our digital literacy course that was launched last month, another career pathway course that you have access to and can support your learners with learning English while also building that fluency, digital fluency, and foundational digital literacy skills. The other thing is that this language can really reinforce workplace training requirements and safety requirements. I know I mentioned that English for general industry safety that might be relevant to construction and manufacturing environments. That content comes directly from OSHA safety content. So that can help learners to be able to have a safe workplace and to connect with growth opportunities potentially related to earning an OSHA certification that could be related to a future job opportunity, a training opportunity. So how do we do this? How do we create this content? Well, we have a patented content development platform that takes real-world content. You'll see on the left, there's actually a COVID-19 video on cleaning and disinfecting workspaces. We took this content and the platform pulls out keywords and develops over 200 personalized activities These are adaptive, so different learners at different proficiency levels and based on their performance are going to see different activities. Our content development team refines this content, adds listening and reading comprehension questions. And so what the impact is that this makes the content more accessible for language learners. It is contextualized language learning content, whether that is learning about workplace safety and OSHA requirements, or whether it's learning about patient care. Learners get adaptive courses that can support their vocational language acquisition. We rapidly do this, which is how we're able to launch new content on a daily basis, and also how we're able to add new courses, typically on a monthly basis. I'm going to go back, and I hope it doesn't sound like a broken record, but the right thing is different for each individual. Personalization is so important. So each of these learners has a different native language, different proficiency level, different career goals, different interests. And so our platform serves as a recommendation engine, bringing those learners the most relevant content. There also is integrated translation for their vocabulary words. So what that means is that some of the navigation, some of the directions, and again, the definition of their vocabulary words, as well as the context that they're seeing those vocabulary words, are automatically translated into their native language. We don't teach content in Spanish or Arabic or Vietnamese. All of the content is in English, but learners do automatically get translation features based on their native language. So that can help them as they're learning and practicing their vocabulary words, and also learning some of the career pathway concepts within the lessons, units, and courses. Oh, I didn't mean to skip that last slide. So this is an example of a career pathway program that I want to highlight. And I do see that Danielle highlighted in the chat. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Please add those into the Q&A box, add them into the chat, and we will be sure to try to address those questions along the way. So going back, this is a career pathway transition program at the Peninsula Regional Educational Program in Newport News, Virginia. They utilized Voxy EnGen within their virtual ESL classes last fall, experimenting with the different career pathway content, the different levels of content that are available. What this resulted in was, in the winter, they created different career pathway boot camps in high demand sectors, IT, logistics, healthcare, and they leveraged the Voxy EnGen courses that related to those career pathways. So they could rapidly deploy 3 different career pathway tracks. They could monitor their students, who was engaged, who was accessing and completing those courses and units, because all of that is visible in the administrative platform. And the intention is supporting learners as they are transitioning into workforce development certificate programs at the local community college. So this is proving the concept of how adult education programs can be effective feeders and pipeline development programs for the local community college that has certification programs that are in demand, that directly will meet the needs of the local employer community. And so you and adult education in general can be an effective transition into these certification programs at local community colleges.
Tad, we have a couple of questions.
Sure.
The one question from Leanne was, what level are these ELL students who are able to use this software to complete learning?
So there are general English courses at every level, including English, beginning literacy English. And that was actually built when we started the partnership with ProLiteracy and New Readers Press to support lower level learners who may not even have literacy in their native language, helping them to build their English skills from the ground up. We also have general English courses, for intermediates and for advanced students, and we have a real strength compared to other competitors in that intermediate and advanced level content, those deep career pathway courses. Some of the career pathway content is available to beginners, like the Introduction to English for CNAs is built for beginners, and some of those workplace readiness skills. We have beginning business skills that is, looking at workplace conversations and workplace emails. There are other courses that are limited to intermediate or advanced learners. For example, we have English for MBAs, which is an advanced level course, and a beginner, if they were in the platform, they would see a little lock over that course because it is too difficult for them. But we do have career pathway courses that are available to beginners. We also have a CASAS Reading Level 3 prep course that can maybe help learners to get up a level where they could participate in more of those career pathway courses. So as learners make progress in the platform, more courses become available to them. They can always search our Real Media section and find more advanced content, but some of the career pathway courses are limited by proficiency level. And just so you know, if you use an external assessment, you can set the learner's level, or you can use the Voxy proficiency assessment to determine their level. And that proficiency assessment is an online assessment. It takes anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes, depending on the version. The more advanced version may take a little bit more time. But one of the exciting developments, because we're always adding new functionality. So at the beginning of April, we actually made the proficiency assessment available on mobile. So now learners can access that on their mobile device. And let me just check the Q&A to see, are there any other questions that are in the Q&A box? I can't see that.
Yes, we had a message from Christine. She asked us to go back one slide. I did ask her if there was something specific, but she didn't say.
Was this Christine, feel free to chat in your question. It's easier for me to see the questions that are put in through the chat as opposed to the Q&A. So feel free to type that in there. And we'll be able to go back to anything at the end of the presentation. This is another career pathway example that I'm really excited about. We've been working with Emily Griffith Technical College in Denver, Colorado for a number of years now. We started as a partner within their refugee English language learning programs. And last summer, they were utilizing Voxy EnGen within a summer intensive that was allowing more career exploration, helping students to make those level gains they needed so they could transition into the CTE programs that were offered at the college. So what they were seeing was that students were able to enter different career pathways, whether it's barbering, certified nursing assistant, dental assisting, and other career pathways. These learners completed, on average, 14 hours of content over this short summer program. They were completing units. They were really scoring quite well on their end of unit tests. And 94% of learners improved their proficiency test scores. And this was a short-term program over the summer. This is something that can absolutely be replicated. And this doesn't force the learner to choose a specific career path. What they can do is they have access to the full Voxy catalog, so that some learners in the class might be enrolled in the English for CNA course. Others might be in the manufacturing course. So there's a lot of flexibility for learners to choose their own adventure in terms of career pathway content. So again, we are an innovative technology that upskills and empowers language learners for the jobs of the future. I see a question coming in about, do you have programming for enterprises such as gardening as opposed to jobs? So we have been adding to our content roadmap. So we're always thinking about what are the next courses that we're building. I mentioned this year we added the patient care course, the industry safety course, the digital literacy course, the retail customer service course, and the grocery store retail. So we've been pretty busy, but we're not done yet. We're working on an update of our English for food and beverage content. We're also working on English for entrepreneurship, and we're prioritizing other sectors. So we've heard English for CDL, the commercial driver's license. We've heard English for landscaping. We've heard English for different skilled trades. So we are continuing to build out that course catalog over time. I want to ask Danielle if any other questions have come in via the chat.
No, not been any other questions. So if you do have a question, please feel free to type it in the chat now, or you can also put it in the Q&A and I'll be happy to read it to Tad.
I am going to pause my share because we've got a little bit of time left, so might as well jump into the Voxy platform. I can actually show you the tool. There is a question about cost.
Yes.
So what I would say is please reach out to your New Readers Press representative. I'm going to share my screen again, but I'm going to share a different window. Oh, I can share the same window. I just need to close it.
And then Tad, another question came in. Would you mind if I just address that one? It just
No, absolutely.
It says, how do I get evidence of attending this PD? Everyone will receive a copy and a link to the recording after this presentation. And you'll also get a certificate of completion as well attached.
Excellent. So one of the things I wanted to mention was it is important to reach out to your New Readers Press representative. The typical starting point for licenses is $125 per annual seat. And there is a 15-seat minimum. Those are fully transferable, so you can use those with different learners across semesters. You can, if a learner drops out, you can slot someone else into that seat. So there's a lot of flexibility, and it's based on how long you're putting that learner in the seat, how long they have access to the platform. We typically recommend at least 3-4 months if you're looking to support measurable skill gains. But learners can really make a lot of progress in that time period. And we've seen learners who are making proficiency gains as quickly as in an 8-week program. So I wanted to take a moment to actually show you the Voxy EnGen catalog. So you'll see there are general English courses ranging from beginning literacy, intermediate levels, advanced levels. You'll see this account for me is set to the high intermediate level English, so I can't take the advanced course yet. We have test prep courses, English for academic readiness, graduate level courses in different professions. These are really powerful courses for workplace readiness. So these are for beginners. So I might recommend a program that combines the English for digital literacy plus the beginner business skills courses. This is a way to build a foundation of both digital literacy and soft skills for your learners.
Tad, I have another question.
Sure.
Do you have any courses for TABE 11 and 12 assessment?
Not specifically for TABE, but all of our content is aligned to those standards, whether they're NRS or CASAS or TABE. So you can actually measure the proficiency gains related and see how the Voxy proficiency assessment relates to those specific assessment tools. And our content will support learners in making those measurable skill gains against those assessments. We have a business English course. We have airline careers, certified nursing assistant at multiple levels, cross-cultural training, customer service in different environments, whether it's phone support, grocery customer service, retail customer service. We have technology careers, digital literacy. We also added a pathway looking into diversity, inclusion, and social justice, so learners can explore those topics while they're learning English. Food and beverage, I mentioned that general industry safety course, health and safety, IT careers, manufacturing, even maritime English. So you'll see this list just goes on and on of the different career pathway courses that you can utilize to build different sector career pathway programs. So it doesn't limit you to just launch one career pathway program. A teacher has the ability to have a technology career pathway, a customer service pathway, a manufacturing pathway, all by leveraging the course materials in the Voxy EnGen platform. I also wanted to just take a moment to show you the real media section. This is so cool. So we launched this course 2 hours ago, 7 hours ago. We commit to adding 3 to 5 courses every day. So there's always something new in the Voxy EnGen platform related to current events, interest areas. I'm going to go back to the home screen so I can show you that this account or this learner is enrolled in the business personalized unit. So this is where the platform selects different topic areas, different lessons that are at their proficiency level that are also tagged with business as the interest area.
Tad, we have another question.
Sure.
If you can show us how to get into the program.
So access to the program, well, Voxy EnGen is a B2B product. So a program buys a set number of licenses, and then they activate those with their learners. So you would work with the ProLiteracy and New Readers Press team to launch those licenses to your learners. And there's a couple of different ways that that can be done. Each license is tied to an email address for any given period of time. That allows them to log in just like they would to Facebook or LinkedIn from any computer. It also is optimized for use on tablet, on Chromebook. There's an iPhone and Android mobile app. So really whatever device the learner is using to access the internet, they can access Voxy EnGen. And our development team, so we have a content development team that works and launches new courses, new lessons on a daily and monthly basis. But we also have a development team that is adding new functionality. So this month they added mobile assessment functionality. You'll see that learners, and this does have the navigation set to Spanish, but if a learner was ready to take their proficiency assessment, they could click here and they would take that assessment. That also is available through the mobile app. We are working on right now having mobile authorization so that the unique identifier would be a phone number instead of an email address. So again, learners can access the platform and courses via any device, whether it's computer, tablet, mobile phone, and we are fully optimized for mobile usage. So all of the content is accessible. It's not, it doesn't have limited functionality on mobile. And we know that many adult learners are primarily accessing the internet through their phones. So I just wanted to give you a quick peek of some of the elements of the Voxy platform while we have the time. Let me see. So yeah, we answered that question. There are absolutely courses that are relevant to the TABE 11-12 assessment. Another question came in about a customer service certification. Yes, so thank you for the kudos about developing and teaching these courses. Yeah, the English for Retail Customer Service is a really powerful course. It will help learners to connect with jobs, employment opportunities, career development opportunities. So encourage you to reach out to your New Readers Press representative to learn more about how you can leverage these courses, how you can access that current pricing special, which is a significant discount for programs where you purchase 50 seats. So I'm sure that that can be included in the follow-up information from this webinar. And I think Danielle mentioned that that it is being recorded.
Yes.
So you'll get the recording and more information about the current pricing special. Any last minute questions? Well, what I want to say is to all adult educators this year, thank you for working so hard, putting in the time and the effort to adapt your programs to virtual and blended instruction. It's been a really challenging year for adult educators who were forced to change their program design without any notice. I guess none of us got notice that a pandemic was around the corner. But I have seen such amazing efforts from teachers and program administrators in adapting to meet their needs, the needs of their learners. And I think that technology can continue as we get over this pandemic. I think technology allows much more flexibility in terms of the career pathways you're offering, and also allowing learners to access that on their phone according to their schedule. So there's a lot of benefits to using technology to connect with adult learners. And I hope that you found this session useful. The next session will be more focused on workplace English programs, whether those be, helping LEP learners and workers connect with career advancement opportunities, building in more flexibility, which is really appealing to employers, and also, upskilling partnerships where adult education programs are creating that pipeline of talent and learners for community and technical colleges in your community. So thanks again for your time. I think Danielle wanted to say a few words about funding opportunities. The only thing I would add is that for many of you who receive funding through WIOA, IELCE, IET Career Pathways, we are approved in many of the states that do make that assessment. I mean, many states are local control, whether you're thinking about, whether you're in California or Massachusetts, but we are approved in Ohio and Pennsylvania and Texas, and we are in process in a number of other states. And if we're not on your state's list, please let the ProLiteracy and New Readers Press team know, and we will work to get the platform on the approved list.
Thank you so much, Tad. We appreciate you joining us and speaking to New Readers Press customers today. We're very thankful for our partnership with Voxy EnGen, and we are, we enjoy working with you. I just wanted to just say a few words before signing off, just letting everyone know that we have an opportunity for funding. It's called Write Her Future, and it's a partnership between ProLiteracy, our parent organization, and Lancome USA. And it is in honor of women. It's to, the initiative works to empower women with low-level literacy skills, to provide them with opportunities, and to arm them with tools to increase their literacy skills and get jobs and be able to read and teach their children and overall just enrich their lives. It's really neat that this program works to provide licenses to Voxy. So if you have a program and you're interested in the Voxy EnGen platform, we are working with a lot of women to try to help empower them. So I encourage you to visit our ProLiteracy website, which is www.proliteracy.org. And then if you go to the Write Her Future USA, you can learn more. And there's also a link that you can get to through that same webpage to apply for the Write Her Future grants and opportunities. So again, if you know people or your program, or you know of a program that would benefit from this, I encourage you. It's a great opportunity for women. And once again, I'd like to thank you all for participating and attending today. And again to Tad for joining us. And I'd like to remind you to join us again on May 12th for the second edition in the series. We'd love to see you and have you join us again. Thanks so much, everyone.
Have a